What if everything you've been taught about human nature is a lie designed to make you more manageable? Most people live under comforting illusions. They believe people are fundamentally good, that kindness is rewarded, that hard work guarantees success, that your friends actually want the best for you. These aren't just false. They're dangerous. The disturbing truth is this: human nature contains impulses that our civilized world works desperately hard to hide. And if you don't understand these impulses, you'll be blindsided by them. Nietzsche saw through this. He wrote, "Beware of those who are good, not because goodness is bad, but because most goodness is a mask for darker motivations beneath." Carl Jung went further. He called this the shadow, the parts of human nature we refuse to acknowledge because they contradict our self-image. The question isn't whether these dark truths exist. They do. The question is, will you see them, or will you keep getting manipulated by people who do? In this video, we're uncovering 6 dark truths about human nature that nobody tells you. Not to make you cynical, but to make you wise, to protect you, and to help you understand yourself more deeply. Before we move on, take a quick second to subscribe to the channel. It will only take a moment of your time, but it will help me tremendously. Truth 1: people are fundamentally selfish. Everything humans do is motivated by self-interest. Even charity. Even love. Most people reject this immediately. I care about my family. I'm not selfish. But here's what they misunderstand. Self-interest doesn't mean cruelty. It means that your primary survival mechanism is always calculating how something benefits you. When you help someone, you gain something: status, relief of guilt, the feeling of being good. When you stay in a relationship, some part of you is getting met. Even self-sacrifice serves a psychological purpose. This terrifies people because they've built their identity on being good or altruistic. But true wisdom is recognizing that self-interest isn't evil. It's human. Schopenhauer understood this. He observed that beneath every action is egoism. Even the most generous person is, on some level, doing it because it makes them feel better about themselves. Your friend who always listens might be doing it because being needed makes them feel important. Your partner who sacrifices everything might be staying because leaving terrifies them more than staying. This isn't cynicism. It's clarity. The insight, understanding that people are selfish, protects you from being shocked when they act selfishly. Truth 2: kindness is a tool, not a virtue. The kindest people you know might be the most dangerous. Why? Because kindness is the most effective manipulation tool. It disarms suspicion. It creates obligation. It makes people feel indebted. Think about the person in your life who is relentlessly kind. How often do they subtly remind you of their kindness? How often do they mention how much they've done for you when you disagree with them? That's not virtue. That's strategy. Most people misunderstand this. They assume kindness is always genuine, that a person who says nice things and does nice things must be a good person. But Jung recognized something crucial. Kindness can be a mask for control. The person who appears kind might be the one who has mastered the art of making you feel obligated. In your family, the sweetest relative might be the one who uses guilt most effectively. At work, the nicest colleague might be the one sabotaging you with a smile. None of this means you should be cruel. It means you should recognize kindness as a language, not as proof of character. The insight: the kindest people have learned that niceness is power. Truth 3: success creates secret enemies. The moment you begin to succeed, you unconsciously threaten everyone around you. Why? Because human status is relative. When you rise, everyone relative to you falls, and people feel this as a loss, even if they don't consciously admit it. So the person who celebrates your success publicly might be resenting it privately. The friend who says I'm so happy for you might be lying to themselves and you. This is what Nietzsche meant by the herd. Most people secretly want everyone at the same level. Equality sounds noble, but beneath it is the fear of being surpassed. When you get the promotion, your colleague smiles. But there's a part of them that is calculating how they can undermine you. When you find love, your single friends congratulate you. But there's resentment beneath. Most people are unconscious of this. They've learned to be nice while harboring resentment. But the resentment is real, and it shapes their behavior toward you in subtle ways. They forget your calls. They're less available. They make small digs disguised as jokes. They stop inviting you. You weren't betrayed. You simply became a threat. The insight: the higher you rise, the more carefully you must watch who you trust. Truthful people fear your growth more than your failure. If you fail, people can comfort you. If you grow, you leave them behind. This is why the people closest to you often discourage your ambition, not consciously, but through small, seemingly supportive comments. You're working too hard. Don't get ahead of yourself. Why do you need to change? What they're really saying is, don't leave me. Carl Jung observed that people unconsciously want those around them to remain static, to stay the same version of themselves that people can predict and control. When you start changing, becoming healthier, more ambitious, more authentic, you become unpredictable. You might outgrow them. You might realize they've been holding you back. You might leave. So they try to sabotage your growth, sometimes explicitly, usually through subtle discouragement. Your family might undermine your education. Your partner might criticize your new friends. Your friends might mock your self-improvement. It's not malicious. It's fear. Fear of abandonment disguised as concern. The insight: the people who truly love you want your growth, even if it means you outgrow them. Truth 5: everyone has a capacity for cruelty. The person you think is incapable of cruelty will shock you under the right circumstances. We like to believe that cruelty belongs to bad people, psychopaths, evil people. But the truth is darker. Ordinary people commit extraordinary cruelty when they feel justified. History shows this. The Holocaust wasn't conducted by monsters. It was conducted by ordinary people who believed they were right. Genocides happen when ordinary populations turn on their neighbors. But you don't need history. Look around you. The person who is kind to you will be cruel to someone they have power over. The person who preaches morality will cut someone off without guilt. The person who seems incapable of harm will hurt someone and sleep soundly. Why? Because humans have an infinite capacity for justification. You can convince yourself that almost anything is deserved, that someone had it coming, that cruelty was necessary. Nietzsche recognized this. He saw that morality isn't universal, it's relative. What's good depends on power, and those with power decide what's moral. This doesn't mean you should be cruel. It means you should recognize it in others without shock. And more importantly, you should recognize your own capacity for it. The insight: the person most capable of cruelty is the one who is certain they are right. Truth 6: loneliness is the human condition. No matter how many people surround you, you are fundamentally alone. Most people spend their entire lives running from this truth. They fill every silence with noise. They stay in relationships that drain them just to avoid being alone. They perform constantly for an audience that will never truly understand them. But here's what philosophy reveals. You came into this world alone, and you will leave it alone. And between those moments, no one will ever fully understand you. Not your partner, not your best friend, not your family. There will always be parts of you that remain private, unreachable, fundamentally separate from others. This isn't depressing, it's liberating. Once you accept this aloneness, you stop demanding that others complete you. You stop needing them to understand you. You stop expecting them to meet all your needs. And paradoxically, that's when real connection becomes possible. Marcus Aurelius understood this. He wrote in solitude. He accepted his separateness. And from that acceptance came wisdom that has resonated for centuries. The insight, the only way out of loneliness, is through it, not around it. The psychology behind this: why does human nature contain these dark impulses? Because nature doesn't care about morality. It cares about survival. And for most of human history, survival meant dominance, manipulation, and selfishness. We've layered civilization over these impulses. We've created rules, morals, and social expectations. But the impulses remain, dormant, but present. When you understand this, you stop being shocked by human behavior. You recognize patterns. You see manipulation before it works. You understand why people betray you and why you betray yourself. How to respond: recognize that selfish motivation doesn't mean someone is evil. It means they're human. Watch what people do, not just what they say. Actions reveal true motivation. Protect your growth fiercely. Distance yourself from those who subtly discourage it. Accept your own capacity for cruelty. This prevents you from committing it unconsciously. Embrace your aloneness. Stop expecting others to complete you. Modern relevant social media has amplified these dark truths. We perform kindness constantly. We present a curated self. We watch others succeed and feel resentment. We present ourselves as always growing, always improving. And beneath all of this performance, the same ancient impulses drive us: selfishness, envy, fear, cruelty. The problem isn't that human nature has changed. It's that we're more aware of each other's performance, which makes us more insecure about our own. The ending: understanding human nature isn't about becoming cynical. It's about becoming wise. The person who recognizes these truths is the person who cannot be manipulated, cannot be shocked, cannot be controlled. You'll see through flattery. You'll understand envy. You'll recognize manipulation. And from that clarity comes a strange freedom. Not the freedom to exploit others, but the freedom to live authentically, knowing exactly what human nature is and choosing to be better anyway. That's not idealism. That's power. As Nietzsche said, knowledge of the depths makes nobility possible. You now see the depths. The question is, what will you do with this knowledge?